Yes, people, what's happening? Charlie here. Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, you know what to do. Make sure you smash the likes, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't done so already, and make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with anything that I've said in this video. And obviously with the news coming out that Eden Hazard and Real Madrid have reached an agreement to terminate the last year of his contract and therefore ending his stay at Real Madrid a year early, Eden Hazard is now available as a free agent. And of course, that now brings loads of people onto the timeline on social media and just in general thinking, oh, should Chelsea bring Eden Hazard back? Is that the right thing to do? Is there any logic to this equation, this scenario? I'm just going to unpack it and give my thoughts. We all love Eden Hazard, you know, as Chelsea fans. He's been probably one of the greatest players that's ever played for the club, one of the most skillful players. The years that we got from him were absolutely phenomenal, particularly that last year before he left for Real Madrid. Outstanding talent, you know, one of the best players in the Premier League for a number of years, won multiple trophies with us, multiple Player of the Year awards and whatnot. And it was probably best for all parties concerned when we sold him to Real Madrid. We got a great deal for him with 1 year left on the contract with the amount of money we've got. But subsequently, he went to Real Madrid. And all right, in that first season, he got 15 goals and assists. But ultimately, the move to Madrid has been an absolute disaster. He turned up overweight, injury prone, didn't get a run in the side. Yes, you could argue that Ancelotti perhaps treated him a little bit fairly, as he even admitted himself that, you know, he didn't really speak to Hazard and whatnot. But the Madrid move's been a disaster. It looks like he's fallen out of love with the game. His footballing ability seems to have deserted him. And from a Chelsea perspective, you think, well, you know, that's probably best that we cashed in when we wanted to. He gave us great service. He got his move to Real Madrid, which has always been his dream. But for Hazard, it's been a disaster. And, you know, for me personally, it's been tough to see because we all love Eden Hazard, as I said, and to see him really struggling, not enjoying his football, looking in a really difficult place. It is sad to see, given all the fantastic memories that he's given us and all the great goals he's scored and all the trophies he's won. Those are memories that we'll keep with us forever as Chelsea fans. But as far as a move for Eden Hazard to come back to Chelsea goes, I get it. People love a romantic story. They love a fairy tale. All logic goes out the window when a fan favourite's involved. You know, you can cite Didier Drogba returning those years after he left the club. It wasn't quite the same, but, you know, Drogba his footballing ability hadn't fallen off a cliff like Eden Hazard's has. And, you know, he still chipped in with a few goals here and there. He knew exactly what his role was. And Chelsea was different back then as well. You know, it's not how it is right now. It's different ownership. We're looking to go in a different direction. And for me, you're looking at Eden Hazard, early 30s, an injury-prone player on massive wages. In what world does it make any sense other than it's a great romantic story to bring him back to the club? You know, we're looking to move in a different direction. Yes, you could argue that we need depth in that number 10 position, perhaps, or depth in a winger position because we've got Mudryk and Madueke and Sterling. And then we don't really have a fourth winger given the likes of Ziyech, Pulisic. Havertz probably could leave as well. Hudson-Odoi is probably going to be moved on. So you're looking at it and you think, right, there is space for perhaps one more winger. And you think, oh, great, let's bring Eden Hazard back for depth. But guys, let's really think about this logically. I know logic goes out the window with some people in this and these situations, but ultimately, player in his early to mid 30s, massive wages and injury prone. It's got Gareth Bale returning to Tottenham written all over it. You know, yes, there might be the odd good game here or there. You know, the fans will love it for a little bit, but ultimately, it doesn't make sense for the football club in a direction that we're looking to go into now. You know, we're looking to sign young, hungry players. You'd have to question Hazard's desire and appetite for the game now, having had that really disappointing spell at Real Madrid. He's obviously retired early from international duty, and he could quite feasibly retire from football this summer as well, depending on what offers he gets. But, you know, for me, we've got great memories of him. Why would we want to ruin those memories by bringing him back for, in what all honesty, would probably more than likely be a really disappointing spell? And your last memories of Hazard in the Chelsea shirt would be, oh, well, he came back and he wasn't that great and he really struggled. And, you know, this is not going to taint what he did in his previous time at the club, but let's just leave the happy memories we've got of him as the happy memories. Let's not bring it back and try and write another chapter in this story. The Eden Hazard book at Chelsea is close to me. Signed him roughly around 11 years ago, probably pretty close to the day. You know, as a young kid from Lille, phenomenally talented, took to the Premier League like a duck to water. We got great years out of him. But, you know, for Chelsea, we're a serious football club now. Well, we are a serious football club. We're trying to be a serious football club after our disgraceful season just gone. And you look at it, and it does bringing Hazard back doesn't tick any boxes in a footballing sense. Doesn't tick any boxes anywhere in a financial sense. It just doesn't tick any boxes anywhere other than a nice romantic story. And we've got to move away from operating and making footballing decisions based on sentimentality without any logic and without any thought as to how this is going to impact the plans long term. There's nothing long term about Eden Hazard. You know, people could say, "Oh, why don't you just bring him in for a year?" Well, what's the point in bringing him in for a year? You know, how many minutes would he realistically get in a Chelsea shirt next season, given that it doesn't even look like he's at Premier League level anymore? You know, for the last 4 years, he's barely played any football, injured, overweight, looks like he's fallen out of love with the game. And, you know, those are all things that, is that suddenly going to come back if he puts a Chelsea shirt back on again? Maybe he'll feel better about himself and he might rediscover a little bit of his form, but ultimately his form has fallen off a cliff and he's nowhere near the required level right now, from my perspective, to play in the Premier League. Yes, that is pretty harsh to say that, given how much of a legend he's been for this football club and how phenomenally talented a footballer he's been, and he's proven that over his spell at Chelsea. But it would be a step backwards in my view. Like Bale to Tottenham, as I said, it could have been like a Cristiano to Chelsea if that had happened. We know Bowley wanted that, but at least Ronaldo was still performing to a top level at his age and banging in goals. I just don't think you'd get any sort of decent level from Hazard if he did come back. And this is not me shitting on Hazard. This is just the reality of the situation with Eden Hazard right now, is that he's just not a very good footballer anymore. It looks like he's fallen out of love with the game. It looks like he's in a dark place. It's been really tricky. You know, I'm gutted that his move to Madrid hasn't worked out, because I really wanted it to work for him. I really wanted to see him shine again on the biggest stage of them all. And just doesn't get in the squad, barely gets any minutes. He's kind of just there for vibes and training. And the whole thing has been a total disaster. But I mean, yeah, it is an interesting one. These things always come around. I wonder, if you ask Spurs fans, if they thought if bringing Gareth Bale back was really worth it. Did it live up to expectations? Yes, he scored a few goals and whatnot, but you know, Bale and Hazard were at similar stages of their careers, I guess. I mean, Bale retired relatively early for a player that could have still offered something at the top level. For Hazard, I don't really know where he goes next in his career. He either retires, or for me, there's always going to be the lure of Saudi Arabia. I'm sure they would put a big money offer together for him. Does he go back to somewhere in France, go back to Lille, perhaps where it all started? I'm not really too sure, but it is really sad to see that a player that's been so good is suddenly in this predicament in his early 30s, where he's either facing retirement because he's fallen out of love with the game, or because there's no clubs that are really willing to take a punt on him. And you look at Eden Hazard now, and his stocks are so low. I mean, what sort of a top team and a level that he would like to play at are really going to take a punt on Eden Hazard? There's not that many of them. And Chelsea absolutely, certainly shouldn't be one of those teams. And I do feel bad saying it, because I love him, and, you know, you'd give anything perhaps to see him back in the Chelsea kit one more time. But memories are left as being memories. That chapter's been closed now. The book is closed on that chapter for Eden Hazard. So we do need to make sure that we don't fall into this rabbit hole again, where we think, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's bring back another legend. Sentimentality. Let's throw all logic out the window. Let's throw all footballing decisions out the window. Let's just throw everything out of the fucking window because we love Eden Hazard, without really taking into account his current ability as a footballer and where his stock lies in the game right now. And those stocks are low. So for me, it's a massive no for Eden Hazard back to Chelsea. As much as it would be great romantically, and it would be a fairy tale, and it'd be fantastic, the fans would love and the ovation he'd get at Stamford Bridge on his return. But this is all fairy tale stuff. This is not reality, guys. We need to live in the reality. We need to live in the real world here. And it doesn't make any sense financially, and it doesn't make any sense on a footballing sense either. And I'm sure Pochettino wouldn't really be that keen on it either, given we've got Sterling, Mudryk, Madueke. He might look to bring another younger player in. So yeah, it's not ticking any boxes of the direction that Chelsea are looking to go in. Under Roman, I would have said this is far more likely to happen, because it's the sort of thing that he would have done. But yeah, really sad to see ultimately Eden Hazard at this stage in his career with not many options on the table, and possibly contemplating retirement far too early for a player that I feel has still got so much to give somewhere, but he needs to go somewhere to rediscover his love of the game. And that place, unfortunately, is not Chelsea. So that, boys, stay well clear of an Eden Hazard return. But that's just my thoughts on the Hazard situation, guys. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below on a return for Eden Hazard. If you like what I've had to say, guys, feel free to check out my personal channel as well. Just hit the @ in the description. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you again in another video soon, guys. Up the Chelsea.